Is that who all wants to speak? Yep.
Good morning. Call the meeting to order. We will begin by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join us this morning for a moment of silence. Thank you. We will begin with the approval of the minutes from the March 24 and March 26 workshop.
Make a motion we approve minutes for March 24, 2026. And
I'll second.
the workshop.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We've approved the minutes from the 24th and the 26th workshop. We have a number of requests for public comment this morning. The first being Kathy Post. If you would come forward this morning. Thank you.
Do I need to swear in or anything like that? Okay. All right. I am going to read, this is the letter that actually I also submitted to Planning and Zoning for public comment. I am going to go ahead and just read my letter, number one, to make sure you guys read it. Number two, just so my mind doesn't wander in discussion. So, Dave, Ken, and Paul, as a taxpayer of Franklin County, I am writing to urge you to do everything in your power to protect the citizens, environment, and most of all, our children and unborn children from the costly and negative impacts of the proposed AI data center. In files 260036, United Land Use Regulations for Data Centers in Franklin County, Missouri, 260037, Crooked Creek Zoning Request, 250269, and 250270, Diamond Farm and Diamond 66 zoning requests. I realize at the moment that this is not before you yet, but I want to be first on the list, just in case. I know there is a lot of promised money behind this, but most of the people you represent do not want the AI data centers. There's not been enough time to fully review or understand the long-term and irreversible effects these data centers will have in our community. There are several points here that concern me. Health concerns and issues. We talk about the environment impact, which I will also do, but is anyone talking about all the health ramifications of the citizens, autistic persons, and unborn children? In the attached article by the IEE Spectrum Exhibit 1, which is in your packet, that's this one, although mine's yellow, so I know it's mine. It states that the projected public health damage due to the pollution of AI growth is expected to be $20 billion per year by 2030. How much of that cost would be here in this immediate area? I realize 20 billion is all over, but take Franklin County from that per year. Are you willing to risk that on the health of the citizens that you represent? Promised tax revenue for the county, schools, and state that will not come. All of you have been in the county and state long enough to know that tax revenue that is promised is never the amount the county or the state will receive due to all the tax breaks that will be implemented for proposed projects. Once the tax breaks expire, we lose. They move on. Land, human, animals, and air destroyed. I have another exhibit, Exhibit 2, titled What Happens When the Data Centers Come to Town, supplied by the Ford School of Science, Technology, and Public Policy, University of Michigan, and has excellent examples of what happened to communities once a data center came in. I've also learned recently that in the Sullivan School District, for their moral classes, they're also using that particular example for their students to make their papers on morality, should AI, so such and so forth go on. Endangered species. A Natural Heritage Review reported dated February 17th, 2026 concluded that there are several endangered species living in Franklin County. The Endangered Species Act prohibits the destruction of habitat of these species. Between the water consumption, water waste, polluting the streams in our water supply, and tributaries, there is no possibility of the environment not being compromised. Keep in mind, our water also, the tributaries flow many miles and affect many counties outside of Franklin County, Missouri. It is not only Franklin County that is being compromised. Negative impact on Shaw Nature Reserve. Shaw Nature Reserve was built in 1920 due to industrial pollution. The sound alone will have a negative impact on the animals, pollinators, and plants from the decibel leveling coming from the AI data center. It is ironic to destroy the reserve for the very thing it was built for. Jobs. The representatives from the AI data center promises all these jobs they are creating. Exhibit 2 explains clearly the jobs are temporary. Once the centers are built and operational, there is less than 100 workers at the site. What long-term job employment and help is that for our county? Utility and energy demands and rates. Everyone knows the AI data center will require more energy than we produce in Franklin County, Missouri. Exhibit 2 also explains that these data centers pass the cost on to the residents. It should be within your restrictions that proposed projects build their own water and waste retention sites, utility and energy sources with no bulk power purchasing agreements at their full expense perpetually. Citizens should not have to pay anything extra now or in the future. As the Franklin County Commission, it is your duty to look at all aspects and do your research. Do not be blindsided by the promises that will not come. The irreversible damages from AI data centers is not 100% known, but we do know enough to say no and think very hard on the decisions you are to make. It is better to be cautious than to be a fool. In closing, I would like to propose the project be put on hold for at least 2 years, if not more. As Franklin County Commissioners, you have lots to think about and legal issues that need to be considered. This is not a project that should be completed in haste. If this project is so positive, why can't anyone come up with the proof to show us otherwise? If it was truly positive, they would be shouting it off the rooftops and providing the information instead of secret meetings and NDAs being signed. In no way should a school district ever be made to sign an NDA, especially when the proposed projects are in the vicinity of a school. What effect will this have on the autistic children and adults? Whatever regulations you think you want to put in the center, double it. If you think 1,000-foot buffer is enough, make it 2,000. If it's 60 decibel is the quiet number, make it 30. I realize these are mainly more for the planning and zoning. However, at some point, I do know that you will be voting on it. Final and most important addition, and this is really my big thing. If you choose to go against the people and approve the projected data centers, for any rules, regulations set forth, their terminology must include, and Mr. Tobin, as the attorney, I may not have this specifically right, but I think you get the idea, that any conveyance covenants, conditions, and restrictions run with the land. This passes any requirements set forth to any subsequent owner. In my opinion, the people making the deals now are not the actual owners, they're brokers. Once the deal is made, the brokers hand over the title to the true owners. Rules and regulations no longer apply unless you specifically state the covenants, conditions, and restrictions run with the land. I cannot stress that enough. A question I have, you went on a pro data tour sponsored by the alleged data center is what I heard. Would you be willing to do the same for a negative effects tour, if you will? And if so, I would be happy to put one together. Kathy Post, here's my number to get a hold of me.
Thank
Any
you.
questions? Take time to make sure to read these. Exhibit 2 is the best of all that I have seen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Wilton Reisenhoover.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Wilton Reisenhoover. My property is 35 acres running right along the McLaren property, a long strip next to the property. On the property, we have a 10-acre lake. The watershed for this 10-acre lake comes directly off of McLaren's property, right where the data center will be. In normal times, it's a dry creek. In a good rain, it runs pretty well. When you look at that data center, there's 16 huge buildings with 16 huge roofs and all the other concrete that's surrounding this property. In effect, what you end up with is a 500-acre parking lot. And we know what happens with parking lots in rainstorms. There's no absorption into the soil. It all runs off. So this as the rain comes in, this property is flooded and the water runs into the lake, is very likely to overpower the spillway. And there's a possibility that overpowering the spillway with an earthen dam could cause a dam to fail. But even if this doesn't happen, even if it doesn't fail, there's a huge surge of water that goes down past our property into this creek, into a lot of other tributaries, and on down to the Merrimack River. And this surge, this little creek is not built for that. It was not that capable. So there could be flooding and erosion all the way down to the Merrimack River. And even in a normal spring, 500 acres of runoff into the Merrimack River in a spring could contribute to flooding of the river, and could contribute to flooding all the way down its course, including into Pacific. The flooding that I just talked about is just one issue that we don't know about. There are many, as lots of other people have talked about. But we don't know for sure the extent of this because no one has really done a good environmental study, not to my knowledge. There are too many unknowns at this time. I urge you to delay a decision on this project until we can get environmental studies. For example, what happens with the runoff that we just talked about. And I also understand that there are now studies underway at the federal and state level to develop guidelines for data centers. These studies are being completed by experts in this field. if we wait until these studies are complete, what could it hurt? It will only give us a lot more information and a lot more knowledge so that we can make a knowledgeable decision on this. I suggest that you should not make a decision on this until these things are complete. You know, if we make big mistakes, they're not correctable. And we don't need to make big mistakes because we're in too big of a rush to get this thing through. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot to give you a paper.
Thank you. Next, we have April Reisenhuber. Thank you.
My name is April Kathy Reisenhoover. I'm against the rezoning of agricultural areas in Franklin County to make hyperscale data centers. This is my story of my family and why. My parents moved out to Catawissa in 1980 because it was agricultural, serene, peaceful, and a place they wanted to raise family and have a place for all our families to enjoy. They bought up land around them over the years, making a family compound of 160 acres. It's divided into 4 family plots with a 5th member ready to build a home and join us this summer. The 35 acres I own joins the west side of the McLaren Farm, where the proposed 16-building hyperscale Walmart-sized data center is to be located. 80 feet tall buildings with 100 feet water towers. Bulldozers will roll in on day one and continuously dig up trees, hollow out the ground for foundations, destroying the animal habitats and spreading dust miles around for 6 to 8 years. The runoff will pollute our 10-acre lake and pond that subsidizes our store-bought food with fresh fish. We are all concerned about the impact of these mega centers for water and power. These are very physical things we can see, but this impact of added electrical noise to the grid is never discussed. It is because you cannot readily see this without expensive instruments, and most homeowners do not have. This will have a biological impact on many people and animals that share the grid with data centers. The incident of tinnitus, that is ringing in the ears and what sounds like a sea of crickets in your ears, will skyrocket. People with diabetes will see their blood sugar control to be more problematic. Their home in the general area will be unlivable and will increase dramatically. This invisible noise will be on every wire in the home and radiate 6 feet in the room. No wall will be protection from this. All devices such as TV sets, Alexa, Wi-Fi, microwave ovens, and anything that has a digital display will contribute to this noise level. Robert Workman, who lives in Woodsville and is a certified building biologist, has 200 hours with electrical engineers and electrical measurement with advanced spectrum analyzers and oscilloscopes. What most people fail to think about the grid is that the power coming into a home is from a shared source. So it is like everyone is on the same power strip. If you just put one very noisy generating source on that power strip, everyone sharing that power strip gets the entire load of high noise. It is not separated by your neighbors. It is joined together with your neighbors. Your home is not an island. Rezoning land or changing the rules to force a project into a place that does not fit naturally is wrong. Zoning is supposed to protect orderly land use, compatibility, and the reasonable expectations of the surrounding property. If you must, put them in already existing industrial areas. Look around in your area and tell Providence and Beltline about other already industrial areas. My family and the 100 other homeowners in the surrounding areas do not want you to ruin our quiet, peaceful environment filled with wildlife, God's nature. Those living in Washington, Union, St. Clair, Sullivan think it won't be their problem. But I've just heard of a new word. It's called dirty power. Power supplies in data centers turn the power on and off 300,000 plus times per minute, imposing dirty power onto the electrical grid. And it shortens the life of appliances and electronics, big screen TVs, and can actually cause utility bills to be higher than they should be. It was in the Missourian, written up by Vincent Saporita. It was frightening to read. I've heard rumors that you've already made your decision on the hyper data centers. I tell them it can't be true, that you are for all of your constituents. You know Eckelkamp well. We all do now. He is driving the local banking, real estate, and legal framework bringing industrial development to our backyards. We know they hold a powerful regulatory veto on the state commission charged with protecting our state's wildlife from that exact development. Your constituents on the east side of the county pray that you will get outside research done on all the matters that I and others have brought to your attention. Listening only to the builders and a possible paid mayor in Io without interviewing the parties around a center doesn't seem to be fair game. I know you want to keep Franklin County livable, and I hope that you do the right thing. I support these data centers, schools, libraries, and bookstores. Thank you for your attention, and I hope that those who are unable to speak at the March 17th meeting will be allowed to at another time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Thomas Crouch. What's that?
Close enough.
Crouch. Okay.
Hello, my name is Thomas Crouch. I'm from Washington, Missouri, of course. I picked up some stuff from a resident from Villa Ridge, Missouri. She could not attend here today. Sorry to not make copies for all of you. You're going to have to share. Paper costs money now.
Thank you.
So, what I have here is an article from CNN that I was given from Veronica Belko, Villa Ridge, Missouri, talking about how these data centers produce a lot of heat. And of course, we all know what happens whenever we start asphalting over everything and pulling grass, trees, vice versa, it generates heat, yes. That, and there's a bunch of other factors we have to worry about as well. But this is a study from the University of Cambridge. Heat released through their energy-intensive processes, including computation and powering cooling systems, generates enough heat, enough to boost up 9 Celsius in the local area. And that's going to hurt for a lot of wildlife, for a lot of bees, for a lot of farmland. Other aspects we have to take into consideration, like everyone's bringing up, environmental risk. What is our 5-year environmental risk assessment? What's a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year, 40-year, 50-year? Are we literally putting something in that's going to be another Welding Springs project? Another thing we have to take into consideration too, center and geopolitical effects and impacts. Data, of course, is going to be the absolute future. Geopolitical influences will target it from foreign adversaries. Do we want that in Franklin County? AI workforce, center politics. Talking about everyone's been to McDonald's and had to go through the kiosk, probably yelled at them a million times. We're talking about a workforce taking over what our secretaries are doing, what our clerics are doing, probably even what Mr. Pontek's doing. Are we prepared for a 20% plus unemployed workforce? Yes, no. Another aspect too is fire, right? Fire. These hard drives and everything like that, if one of these things catches on fire, it's something you just can't go through and dump water on. The vapors released will be close to a mini Chernobyl if one of these things goes up. Is our fire departments prepared to put these things out. Another aspect we have to take into consideration is Franklin County, founded on manufacturing, mainly founded on agriculture. I believe what we're second in the state in dairy, apples. This falls back on geopolitical impacts. The future is going to be dictated by natural resources, food, water, vice versa. Are we prepared to give up those assets for some funding now, potential funding now, potential tax revenue now? So, in stating that, we have seen petitions against this. Have we seen petitions for this? People of Franklin County, all of us unified together, could dictate a vision for a greater Franklin County together. What's best for us, what's best for our children, what's best for generations to come. And absolutely, I do appreciate the initiative to look to bringing in some sort of out-of-state tax revenue for us. I do appreciate that, but we just have to be cognitive, be careful of how we approach it. Thomas Crouch, Washington, Missouri.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
Oh, I'll give you all this too. It has their information on here as well. Sorry, I just picked it up.
That's all right. Thank you.
20 minutes ago.
Next, we have Rhonda Brackett. Rhonda?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I am, for the most part, going to read because that's probably the easiest thing to do here. After hours of doing research about harmful effects, it's obvious to me that AI data centers in these areas are not a good idea. These proposed locations are in close proximity to protected lands and conservation areas. Shaw Nature Preserve, 2,400-acre extension of Missouri Botanical Garden, is across the street from Diamond Farms. Both proposed sites for an AI center are within a few miles of over 1,200 acres of land owned, managed, and protected by Missouri Department of Conservation. The LeBark Creek Watershed Conservation Area was purchased by the Nature Conservancy, and I put 2001 or 2. I was actually the agent. I sold real estate at that time. And I don't remember the year, but I introduced it to them. But I think it was probably before 2005. But it was purchased to protect the watershed, and then it transitioned to Missouri Department of Conservation to manage and protect the area. It is home to over 50 species of fish and amphibians, some of which are rare. I had the opportunity when I was working with them to walk the property with a marine biologist. And I can't remember, I think he said that there were some endangered species that were in that area as well. But it's been so long, I just don't really remember. There are many homes in these areas that are either farm or single-family homes on acreage. Residents in the area do not want AI data centers. They are concerned about aquifer, that they may not have enough water for their wells, about electromagnetic frequency waves, which are known to cause cancer, noise, and light pollution. Many environmentalists are environmentalists and do not want the area ruined environmentally due to an AI data center. There's also a concern about property values. After reading many articles online about the effects, I am convinced they are not good for anyone. AI data centers should be away from people in areas that are away from people and have at least $1,000 buffer, $1,000-acre buffer from residents and farm areas. On a more personal level, while I am an environmentalist and enjoy spending time in nature and our conservation areas and concerned am concerned about environmental issues, I do not want to drive down the highway and see unsightly towers and such, as are the case with power plants. I like peace and quiet, and I do not want to hear humming. I do not want light pollution so that in the evening I cannot see stars, but rather see their lights. And I do not want the pollution that comes with them. I am also concerned about my property values. While I live in St. Louis County, I would be naive to think that my electric and water bills would not be affected, even though it was built in Franklin County, and there seems to be that there are bills that will be in place that they need to stand on their own. For instance, Ameren is on the stock exchange. So, I mean, for us to think that it's not going to affect all of us on our bills is kind of naive. I'm sure it seems appealing, but I don't think it's a good idea. Now, I also put a list of questions together and answers from AI, from Google, because unfortunately that's what comes up these days. Do AI data centers cause contamination? Yes. AI data centers cause significant environmental contamination and resource strain. They consume massive amounts of water for cooling, often millions of gallons daily, leading to wastewater discharge that can overwhelm local systems. Additionally, they generate air pollution through electricity consumption from fossil fuels and emergency diesel generators, resulting in significant public health damages. Do AI data centers affect the aquifer? Yes. AI data centers significantly affect aquifers by consuming massive amounts of fresh water for cooling, often depleting local groundwater supplies faster than they can replenish. A single large data center can consume up to 5 million gallons daily, equivalent to a town of 10 to 50,000 people, causing local water tables to drop and threatening community water access. How do AI data centers get their power? AI data centers are primarily powered by the electrical grid with a heavy reliance on natural gas, which we don't really have in this area, except for the tanks, followed by nuclear power, renewables, wind and solar, and coal. Due to the extreme energy demands from AI chips, some data centers are now installing on-site natural gas generators or sourcing nuclear power for continuous high-capacity energy. Does Ameren power AI data centers? Yes, Ameren powers and is actively expanding its service to AI and large-scale data centers, particularly in Missouri and Illinois. The utility is signing major energy deals and developing infrastructure to support massive gigawatt-scale power demand from these facilities, including developing specialized long-term contracts. Does there need to be a power plant for an AI data center? Yes, AI data centers increasingly require dedicated on-site or adjacent power generation because of their massive energy demands, often 200 plus megawatts, exceeds local grid capacities. To ensure 24/7 reliability and avoid years-long grid connection delays, operators are deploying dedicated natural gas turbines, fuel cells, or nuclear rather than solely relying on public utilities. Do AI data centers impact the environment? Yes. AI data centers pose significant environmental risks due to high energy consumption, massive water usage for cooling, and increased carbon emissions. These centers require intense electricity, often from fossil fuels, to power AI servers. Their rapid growth also causes habitat disruption, electronic waste, and strains local water supplies. Do AI data centers cause noise and light pollution? Data centers generate noise levels that may exceed 90 decibels. Noise levels above 85 decibels are harmful to hearing. Data centers generate light pollution. Do AI data centers emit electromagnetic frequencies? Yes. AI data centers emit electromagnetic frequencies, EMFs, as a byproduct of their operations, primarily in the form of low-level, non-ionizing electromagnetic radiation. Due to the intense power demands of AI computing, which can be 10 to 100 times higher than traditional data centers, these facilities generate significant localized electromagnetic fields, EMFs. Do AI data centers affect consumer power and water bills? Yes. AI data centers significantly impact consumer power and water bills. Research shows that massive energy demand, sometimes equal to 100,000 plus homes, forces grid upgrades and increased generation, causing rising utility costs. Furthermore, massive water consumption for cooling can strain local resources and increase costs, with some areas facing higher bills due to high demand infrastructure needs. What are the long-term effects of an AI data center? The long-term effects of AI data centers include unprecedented sustained strain on local energy grids and water resources, often leading to increased utility rates for residents and environmental degradation. While offering limited high-tech employment, these facilities can dominate local infrastructure, potentially causing water scarcity, noise pollution, and air quality issues due to heavy reliance on diesel generators, which can lead to increased cases of asthma and cardiovascular disease. Do AI data centers need to be upgraded? Yes, AI data centers require significant upgrades and often complete retrofitting to handle the intense power, cooling, and networking demands of artificial intelligence workloads. While traditional data centers were designed for lower density 5 to 10 kilowatt per rack loads, modern AI infrastructure often demands 40 kilowatt to over 100 kilowatt per rack, making existing infrastructure often inadequate. Anyway, I hope, like others have said, I hope that you postpone any immediate things about this. I think there needs to be a lot of research, and I really don't think it's a good idea for this area, especially with environmental concerns and being so close to properties that have endangered and rare species. Anyway, thank you very much for letting me speak, and have a good day.
Thank you.
for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have Dana Bowers.
Well, gentlemen, I wasn't going to speak, but I was asked to by a couple of people that I've been to many, many meetings with up until now. I was actually just going to drop off some paperwork to the county clerk. I could stand here and go through the whole spiel again repeatedly about the damages that these data centers have done, are doing, and will potentially do to our community if they're put in here. The environmental effects, the negative effects on us as humans, my personal reasons as to why I went down the rabbit hole like others did. We have our water girl who went down the rabbit hole because she's concerned about our water and our aquifers. We have many, many residents that have gone down the resource holes of doing research on the environmental effects on our wildlife, on the land, on the noise pollution, the air pollution. I could go over all of that with you, but I'm sure that you probably have heard it all already. I do have my personal reasons as to why I'm against this. The human effects of the health human effects that it has on us, not just the land, but the land, the air, and the water pollution will affect us as humans. You're literally taking, like I said before in another meeting, is you're trying to, if this was to be passed, take an infrastructure and put it into a place it doesn't belong. I don't have an issue with controlled AI data centers, but they belong in heavy-duty industrial areas. They don't belong in our backyards. If you want one, Mr. Schatz, you go right ahead and put one in your backyard, sir. We'll call up Governor Kehoe and let him put one in his backyard if you want one that bad here in our county, honestly. But we, as your constituents, don't want it. We have said that, thousands of us have said that. We don't want your money. We don't want the money from these big tech companies. We don't care about the money. What we care about is our families, our health, our farms, our way of life. I'm pretty sure in the Declaration of Independence it says that we have the rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And when you have three individuals that could potentially be making a decision on something that could negatively affect thousands of people in this community, and that is why I was turning in the paperwork I'm going to turn in to the county clerk, is because I feel at this point in time, due to the fact that we did not elect you, Mr. Schatz, you were appointed by the governor, and Overschmidt, I feel several of you have a conflict of interest, and I kind of feel like this is your easy way out. You have the availability to do two things. You have the availability to recuse yourselves due to the conflict of interest with this topic as commissioners. You also have the availability to put this. I know legally, as the community, we can't force you to do it legally, but you have the availability to give us the right to make a decision for what happens in our community, because we're the ones that are going to have to live next to this and be negatively affected. The potential of money and tax revenue and the potential amount of jobs that these mega companies are lying to you about and trying to deceive you and manipulate you into believing it's going to happen. We, as the people of this county, we don't believe it. And we've made that very loud and clear on numerous occasions. So I implore you to either do one of two things: either recuse yourselves from these data center decisions or put it to a vote for us, because do you have to live next to one of them? Do you live in that area, Mr. Overschmidt? Will you have to live next to one of them?
Nope.
No, sir. Mr. Schatz, will you have to live with one of these in your backyard?
Obviously, I have a business that one would be right in my backyard. Yes.
Do you have to live there?
Well, I mean, I live at my business, for reality. I mean, I'm there, a lot of times. So it's not that I'm not affected by it. So I'm really not going to engage in a back and forth with this at this point. This commission has not taken a formal position on these, and we are in the process of formulating that. You're being very accusatory of me at this point, and I'm not sure that that's valid at this point, because you don't know my position on data centers.
I find it very valid because I have heard you speak publicly as well as on television, being interviewed on several occasions. So I feel like unless you've changed your point of view in the last 24 hours, we have heard your perspective. Will you, Mr. Cox, have to live with one of these in your backyard?
No.
Okay.
I have a farm
So that's
west-
why I'm
west of the county.
here, is because I'm going to be turning these in. due to the fact that you three will not have to be living with one of these in your backyard, I don't feel that you three have the right to make a decision for 74,000 voters in this county and for those of us that will have to live with this in our backyards. So I implore you to take the opportunity to recuse yourselves and or put this up for vote for those of us in the county so that we as the people have the right to make this decision for ourselves.
Thank you. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
That is all the public comments that was requested to speak at this time. We have a number of discussion items, action items before the commission this morning. The first being Commission Order 2026-87 is apportionment of general special road and special bridge fund taxes paid by the railroad utility companies for the year of 2025.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. We've approved Commission Order 2026-87. Next is Commission Order 2026-88, is the awarding the bid number 2026-20 for new office space for the Franklin County Highway Department to Jasper Builders.
I'll make a motion, we approve that.
I second.
All in favor? Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. You've approved Commission Order 2026-88. Next is Commission Order 2026-89, approving the purchase of 2 Mack dump trucks with 10-foot blades for the Franklin County Highway Department.
Make a motion, we approve Commission Order 2026, TAC 89.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. You've approved Commission Order 2026-89. Next is Commission Order 2026-90, approving purchase of 2 Henderson body packages for the 10-foot blades for the Franklin County Highway Department.
Make a motion, we approve Commission Order 2026, TAC 90.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. We approve Commission Order 2026-90. Next is Commission Order 2026-91, is the purchase of 2 additional Mack dump trucks with 12-foot blades for the Franklin County Highway Department.
Make a motion, we approve Commission Order 2026, TAC 91.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. You approve Commission Order 2026-91. Next is Commission Order 2026-92, and it is the authorizing the purchase of 2 Henderson body packages with the 12-foot blades for the Franklin County Highway Department.
I'll make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. You've approved Commission Order 2026-92. Next is Commission Order 2026-93, designating authorized signers for the Franklin County Highway Department.
I'll make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. We've approved Commission Order 2026-93. Next is Commission Order 2026-94, approving the execution of Amendment Number 2 to the food service agreement with Summit Foods for the Franklin County Sheriff's Office.
Make a motion, we approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. We approve Commission Order 2026-94. Next is 2026-95, the proclamation recognizing April 12th through the 18th as National Public Safety Telecommunications Communicators Week.
I'll make a motion, we approve that.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. We approved Commission Order 2026-95. Finally, Commission Order 2026-96 is the repayment plan for the marijuana sales tax obligations for Franklin County, Missouri, which I will make a statement on this. I'm not necessarily very happy with the fact that this is the way this is coming down, but obviously we have to repay the collected tax that the Supreme Court has ruled that we cannot stack taxes. Therefore, it goes back to the hands of the dispensaries, and whether or not anyone will ever come and ask for it remains to be seen. But it's about $750,000 of tax revenue that they're going to get a windfall for. So, with that being said, I'll entertain a motion.
After talking to everybody in the concerned with this is the best way to go. So I don't like it either, but I'll make a motion, we approve it.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We've approved Commission Order 2026-96. We have, do we have any discussion items from any elected officials? Anyone? There we go. Jeff.
I'll be brief. Reference a proclamation for recognizing the Telecommunicators Week. So just appreciate your recognizing of dispatch. I have a great team. They work hard every day and night, holidays, weekends. We have a dedicated group of people that do tremendous work, and I appreciate you recognize them. After the meeting, I'd like to get a picture. I have several people here that maybe we can get a picture with you guys afterwards. So, but thank you.
Perfect.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Any other department reports, discussion? Any further commission discussion this morning?
Yeah, on the marijuana sales tax, I'm totally against giving anything back, especially to the dispensaries. I'd rather see it go somewhere else, opioid funds to help solve the problems they're creating. Schools, somewhere other than back to the dispensaries. We had an option of paying everything back at once, which was quite a sum. We have all the money. We haven't spent a penny of it. But we stretched it out purposely so that we wouldn't give the money back all at once. We stretched it out over 9 months. The money's going to sit there in our accounts and draw interest. I'd rather stretch it out to 20 years if we could. But unfortunately, the state only gave us, first it was a 12-month option, then it changed mysteriously to a 9-month option. So we took the longest option possible to give that money back. And hopefully something in the meantime can change, but I'm not holding my breath for that. That's all I had to say about it.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
We have a number of years of service recognition this morning. I'm not sure if we want to do them and have everyone come forward after or want them to come up individually. Probably,
It's really up to you how you want to do it. I mean, you want
Sure.
to call them out and then have pictures, do pictures at the
we're
end.
going to, we'll do some pictures
Do a group picture at the end.
at the end. But we do have several today. It must be a big day for years of service recognition. First, and if you would stand to be recognized, and then we will hand out the plaques or the certificates and get everyone up here for a picture. But first, we have Amy Jackson with the Highway Department, 5 years of public service. I don't think Amy is here today, but she has been recognized for 5 years. Give Amy a round of applause. Next is William Barnes. William Barnes.
He could not make it.
He is not here, but William Barnes also has 5 years of public service. Give him a round of applause. Deputy Christopher Mesker. There you go, Deputy. 5 years of service with the Franklin County's office. Thank you. Deputy Nicholas Mesker, 5 years of public service. Detective George Koch. Is George here?
Tied up on investigation this morning.
Give him, he's got 10 years of public service. Captain Scott Duck, I can see him standing in the doorway there. He has 20 years of public service. Thank you, Scott. Major Trevor Wild, TJ as we know him, 30 years of public service. There he is back there. And last but not least, our sheriff, Steve Felton, 35 years with public service with Franklin County. We will ask for everyone to come forward that's here, and we will hand out certificates and get some pictures taken this morning. But we will go ahead and entertain a motion for adjournment for that to occur.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned.